welcome. Please tell us about yourself, who you are, and where you're from, please.
My name is Glauco. I'm 18 years old. I live here in Rio de Janeiro, and
Rio de Janeiro. I like
yeah,
that.
I've traveled
That's
that.
right.
Yeah, I've traveled to Miami, and you say Rio de Janeiro, everybody says what?
Yeah,
Where is
people
it?
don't
Yeah,
understand. I
you have
know.
to say Rio.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. So,
Yeah,
tell us, how did you hear about our course, and how did you decide to start it?
I was on YouTube trying to watch some videos that could help me about my English knowledge,
Mhm.
and I watched the most seven commonly mistakes. I don't know.
The seven most common
Com-
mistakes. I made the
yes.
video and I don't remember, so you're
Something like
okay.
that. And I realized I was committing every single one of them, and
Wow.
I went to the channel uh, and I watched all the videos.
Mm-hmm.
So I was completely immersed. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
just my mind was blown because I never thought about how learning English is by itself a process, not only the fact of learning the language. So it was the first time that I really knew how learning something works. So it was nice.
Good. And you started the course with us, Fluência Online, and I would like to know, when did you realize that the method was working?
The first time I realized that the method was working was probably all about stage 5 or 6 because we learned the conditionals and all the structure of the any phrase,
Mm-hmm.
any kind of text in English. So something that I've learned before at school and by the internet, but never really knew how it worked. So
Mm-hmm.
it was the first time that I feel confident about
And
it.
maybe you didn't have the chance to practice those structures before.
Yes, exactly. Because at the course you are asked about every single time about conditionals and past structures. So it was the first time that I felt confident.
Uh-huh. Very good. And an extra question. Was there a time when you understood more English, like on TV and movies? Was there a time when your ears felt like they had popped open or not? Because
Yes.
sometimes this happens.
Yeah, I was worried because some people say about dreams in English or
Hmm.
that they were talking to you in Portuguese and someone was saying something in English and you could hear, and I was that didn't happen to me. I wish they
Uh-huh.
did, but I took a long time before I read my first book, before my first full song in English.
But now you're reading books. You're reading
Yes,
advanced books. I know that.
yes, and that's nice because I don't know how that happened, but one strange thing, funny actually, is that, for example, those songs that you sang when you didn't know English, now it makes sense. So it's really weird that you're now listening to them and you can understand something that you
And
didn't at all.
sometimes you think that it's a great song, and then when you understand, you're like,
Yes,
"What?
yes,
That's what
exactly.
they're singing."
Yeah,
It kind of spoils it a little bit.
it's
Like, oh,
sort of
I thought you were a good artist, but now that I understand you, you're crazy. That's very good. And how do you feel about your development? How do you feel about your level of English right now?
well, now I feel really confident. It, I think it's hard to be comfortable about it, about talking, about saying something you're not used to say when you're at home, when you're
Well,
with
you
friends.
seem comfortable to me right now.
Really? Oh, I'm freezing. I'm shivering, and
Don't worry.
uh, that's the well, that's the most confident I've been so far. So probably I'm doing something right, and I
You
hope I
are.
continue doing it.
That's great. So I heard that you just recently traveled to Miami. Could you tell us a little bit of how that happened, how it
Uh,
went?
yes, strange that you've always dreamt about going to some place, about being in environment that speaks English, but not only because they're speaking English, but it's just natural for them. And I was in Miami last month, and well, it's just like an experience. My first experience traveling abroad, and it
Mhm.
was wonderful. It was really nice.
Great. Tell me, you don't have to give me all the details, but tell me what happened to the car.
The car was taken away by the
Yeah, taken
government,
away by the
and
government is
yeah, it was
100%
the
correct.
first. Yes, it was how I could say
Uh-huh.
that. So the car was towed, and we didn't know where it went, how it did, because at night it was there, but in the morning just
Gone.
wasn't there anymore. So we had to talk to a lot of people, try to find the place,
And that was
and
all in English. You couldn't
yeah,
just speak in Portuguese, right?
all in English. And the thing is, everybody there is foreigner, so you talk to someone with a Spanish
Mm,
accent, and then with the taxi driver was probably South African
right.
or
Mm-hmm.
Nigerian, and that is just not normal. You're not used to that kind of
Mm-hmm.
accent, and that's something that I learned with Fluência Online, because we have teachers that are Scottish or Philip. Well,
Filipino,
she's
yeah.
Philippine, Filipino,
Uh-huh.
Filipina.
Yeah,
I don't
I've
know
always
if that
thought it was
exists.
Filipina because it's a girl, but in English it's Filipino
Yeah,
even for women. I think that's strange,
it's
but
weird.
yeah.
Yeah, Filipino, and Marcella has a British accent. Tammy is American, so you're used to uh, hearing uh, person,
Uh-huh.
better.
Mm-hmm.
So you're more, I don't know,
Yeah.
sensitive about it. So with the taxi driver was okay, but with Spanish,
It's
I
almost
just,
easier to speak in
yeah.
Spanish
And
sometimes, yeah.
yeah, and something weird. For example, now we have the Jornada Mundial da Juventude here in Rio, and yesterday I went to a mall and I was talking to some
Venezuelan? Uh-huh.
Venezuelan, and they were saying in Spanish. So I tried, okay, I'll be a good Brazilian and try to speak
Mm-hmm.
Portuñol. So I started, ah, yo tengo, and I just couldn't speak Spanish anymore. I don't know why, but English was coming. So I tried to not talk in English, but I just couldn't. So I said, oh, fine, I'm going to talk in Portuguese because I have no choice. Or it's Portuguese or English. So
But hey, that's a good thing. It means that English for you now is a much more natural language, right?
yes, exactly.
Good stuff. Well, thank you very much, Glauco. Thank you for your insight and your experience. I'm sure that people at home will really appreciate your stories. Okay?
So
Take
bye.
care. Bye.